You're now tuned in to the realest YouTube channel in the world.
From a long way away, I take risks. Swing round that corner, I can't miss. I can't go back, I can't switch. I can't go back.
Remember Katt when he was Cat in the Hat?
Yeah.
And let me tell you a little Katt Williams story while we talking. I remember Katt when he was Cat in the Hat, doing the jokes about the short dude in the car and all that stuff. We knew he was funny then. And I had got the host job for Comic View. And Katt Williams performed, I think it was me, Katt, and Michael Collier. And I think Mike Washington was on that show. We have the Comedy Connection. I think it was in Greenbelt, Maryland. If I'm not mistaken, I stand corrected. I watched Katt Williams do a set. I called Stephen Hill. I said, get here as fast as you can. I have watched something great.
Wow.
They said, what is it? Katt Williams is destroying a room and I cannot follow him. Now, I got courage. I did what I needed to do that night, but what I saw was something special. I said, and so Stephen gets there and he's looking at it, he's dying laughing. I said, I need that guy on my season of Comic View. And he was like, well, why would you do that? I said, because he's going to be big and he's special and this is his shot. And everything propelled. He was already doing great stuff, but everything propelled. I just want us to, if we disagree in private.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And you can tell your version of the story. I'm telling my versions of the stories. But you notice that I'm editing myself because I'm not going to do it at the expense of someone's self-esteem. I'm not saying Katt did that. I'm just saying I knew Katt Williams was going to be special because I saw it in him and I was willing to step back. You got to know when you can't follow something. You got to know it. That's why I host now.
I got the hookup, and I got the hookup too. Master P, you mentioned John Witherspoon.
I love Master P. I love Master P. Great businessman. Very, very smart. Always gave me an opportunity. You know who else gave me an opportunity?
Who did?
Uncle Luke.
Really?
Yes, when I was first doing really, really raw material. Not like my stuff ain't raw now,
Right.
But this is where I was polishing.
Really uncut.
Yeah. And he said, Sheryl, I want you to, record some material for us and put it out there. And you notice something odd in all the stuff that's going on with the sexuality, and gaffling people and everything. Whose name is not in it? Uncle Luke.
He started it.
But he didn't do it. He didn't cross that line. He didn't cross that line. It may have been a party atmosphere.
Yes.
But he didn't do things. Power corrupts. And we have got to start protecting each other and don't do that shit. When you football player, did they still give you a handler, a person that kept you out of trouble when you first got in the league?
No. I mean, we used to have these videos where they say, well, obviously you can't gamble and be careful who you associate with.
Absolutely.
But I was very, very fortunate that I had an older brother that was in the league that could guide me.
Sterling.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could guide me and let me know, okay, bro, this is how you need to do it. This is what you need to do.
Yes.
Everybody doesn't handle that. But at the end of the day, Sheryl, grown men is going to do what grown men do. Because it's kind of like you have a financial advisor. And he might say, Sheryl, you don't need to do this. What is it's Cheryl's money? And Sheryl takes the money and all he can do is advise.
Advice and counsel. But why do you have them if you don't take advice or counsel? I'm going to shout out my business manager, Larry Turner. I'd like to thank you. I thought he was black because he had his whole name on his card. It was Lawrence J. Turner. I said, these brothers is doing the thing. They attorneys, they financial planners. I walk in, a little Jewish dude. Yeah. I was like, well, what's up? Grow my If you can show me that you know what you're talking about, I have a saying, don't wake up in the middle of surgery talking to the surgeon. Let people do what they're going to do. If you're going to take advice and counsel, take advice and counsel.
Exactly.
But sometimes you get so much money and power that you start to do things and people are afraid to tell you, don't do that shit. And don't record the shit. What is with the recording of the documentation of and I'm going to tell you this. I grew up in Chicago. I was running these streets. We knew R. Kelly. And it's a lot of stuff that we know about people. But how do we save someone from themselves? And how do we teach with great fame comes great responsibility?
Yeah.
Right? And money and power. And if you treat it right, God will give you more. You don't have to do this wild stuff that you're doing, and you don't have to take it out on people. People say, well, money changes people. No, money makes you
more
worse.
what you already are.
There it is, right there.
You are who you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I bucked up on a lot of dudes and they be like, nah, Cheryl, you a good girl. I'm like, I'm glad you think that. Right? I'm gonna circle this bar one more time. And if you still here when I come back, it's on and popping, right? Let me buy you this drink. Let's go. Right? But like you said, you have choice. But there's got to be somebody there, especially these young boys. It could destroy their life.
Yes.
That's why I have a sports initiative. Young boys, young as 3 years old, learning different sports, but also getting an education. But we need you men to come back into these boys' lives so they will understand you have somebody to talk to. You have big brothers out there. And don't put everything on social media. All you street soldiers out there holding all the money up, the IRS is watching and they waiting on you. And if you had a PPP loan and now you in jail, but ain't nobody else in jail, come on, man. We can do this better.
Right.
What else you want to ask?
Movies. Is there a movie that you a role that you auditioned for that you didn't get, that you like, damn? Or is there something that you turned down that you wish you hadn't?
No, because I rarely audition because I don't consider myself an actor.
Okay.
I consider myself a personality who can be taught the mechanism of acting, how to hit your mark, stay in your light, memorize your lines, work on it. And I like doing certain things. I would love to do a sitcom, and I have a couple that I'm developing. I like doing movies. What I feel is I think Kim Whitley is one of the greatest actresses, Yvette Nicole Brown, greatest actress, Tisha Campbell, all these great actors. Regina King is not just a great actor, she's a great director and a producer. Issa Rae, I have ideas that I want to work with everybody, and all I want is a cameo. That's all I want. I want to produce. I want to be able to stand up at these award shows and give it up for the show that the winner is. And I walk my black up and go, she did it. She did it. She produced and she did it.
You turned down Players Club, didn't you?
Okay, let me tell you what happened. Because I was in sexual interpretive dance, they knew I had the skill. And so they called me and they said, we want you to consider this part. So I said, let me see the entire script, not just the sides. The sides are the pieces that you're going to be in.
Right.
I said, I need to see the whole script. Now, I'm still not understanding. You ain't supposed to be making demands when they try to give you a job. That's why you ain't in no relationship. Right? You over here making demands.
Right.
So I say to them, I need to read the whole script. So I read the whole script, and in the script, it's the words of the character they want me to play that say you're gonna do Junior's party or something like that.
Yeah.
Where Monica Calhoun, the girl that was in Best Man and the Best Man Holiday, she ends up passing away. She's Morris Chestnut's wife.
Right.
She plays it. Okay, this is where she gets raped and beat up. But it's my words to say, or the character they want me to play, so you're gonna do Junior's party. So I called them and I said, I cannot do it. And they were like, why not? And I told them why. I said, I've been raped. I said, I cannot do it. And they were like, well, it's just a part. I said, no, I'm not that good of an actor to step out of my own trauma. I said, because I've been told this girl, hey, read the rest of the script. About 4 pages. You about to get gaffled, right? You about to get see this page right here?
Right.
I would have been like, the line wouldn't have been, you gonna do Junior Party. The line would have been, bitch, don't do Junior Party. So I'm not that good of an actor not to do that. And my heart is always on
Your
my
heart's
sleeve.
always in the right spot.
Absolutely. Like when I dialed into the call with the Queens of Comedy, when I got the call to ask me to come and dial into this for a possible situation, I was so excited to work with them because I felt like this would be an achievement to show us all together.
So it was gonna be you, some more, Adele Gibbons, and who?
I think Laura Hayes.
Laura Hayes.
Right, because I think Monique had already gone on to the things that she was going to do individually.
Okay.
And so I get the dial-in information, and we do a lot of conference calls in organizations and nonprofits and things like that. So I know to dial in, but I think they're going to put me in queue. I don't think they're going to put me directly in. Yeah, directly in the call. So I go directly in the call and I hear words spoken about me. But I think God needed me to hear it. need me to hear what my colleagues felt about me, so I
Did
could
you know prior to that they felt this way about you?
no, or maybe I was too delusional. Maybe I was still on the, hey, let's get together and do a show. Let's rent a barn and we can do a show and raise some money and get a cow for the cookout or something. I'm still thinking, oh, this is great. And I did not know some of the things that I had heard and still hear about me. I think are misplaced. And so then I took the time in my life to show people a better version of me. I'm still strong-willed. I'm still who the you talking to. Now I still walk into bookings and say, did everybody get paid? Well, sure, we paid you. I don't give a did everybody get paid? Until you pay everybody, you will not be having a show, right? I'm still a leader, right? But in that case, I think God needed me to hear it. And that's what I really wanted to say on CBS, that these women had achieved something, but they blessed me with something to learn more about me, to help me get to CBS and learn how to be a better me while I work with a team. And if I hurt them, I want to ask them to forgive me, even now, because wouldn't it be great to see me, Adele, Samore, Monique, Laura Hayes, all of us do a movie together. And I have that script and I put my team together to write the script because I'm not trying to pay it backwards or forwards or anything. I'm trying to show if we come together. Why is it other races of people can hate each other, but they'll come together and do a movie? There it is. Let's show solidarity and then we all get paid.
You negotiated comic, they was getting $1,000 instead of $150. Why did you feel you need at that moment, this was what Cheryl Underwood needed to do?
We had heard that there was discussion, I think it was Comedy Central, with the white comics, and in these meetings there were black comics going, well, what about Comic View? And being in a Greek letter organization, we know parliamentary procedure, we know meeting structure. And so when we went to the meeting, they said, well, you black people handle that, right? So we go, okay, we're going to handle that. And in the discussions, we put together our committees. We reviewed laws, you know. See, that's why a college education. And if you went to a HBCU, you really got a good education. You got life and education and culture. So those of us that were in Greek letter organizations and went to college and in HBCUs, we came together to form a unofficial subcommittee. So when it came time for certain things, and we had Tim Allen signing our petition in Variety, Jay Leno, we had the comics backing us, big time comics backing us when all we wanted it to be fair. But there was one line I said I will not cross. We will not picket Bob Johnson at BET. We will not do that. We will not give them the photo opportunity of us against another black man. Right or wrong, I just didn't feel that that was the right thing to do. And I felt that he would do the right thing, and he did.
Wow. People run up on stage fighting comedians. Miss Pat says she done fought comedians before. Where are you? I mean, has anybody ever run up on stage on you, got mad that you were saying something during your set? Has anybody ever got mad at you, Cheryl?
I was in Monrovia, California, and, I didn't know what kind of location Monrovia was. This is the kind of location that you don't see a lot of us in. You know what I'm saying? This was long before Trump was making America great. This was long before. So I was booked to do a gig. I did the gig, and I guess a white man didn't like what I was talking about, and he threw a beer at my head. And it passed my head and bust on the wall, and it was beer splattered everywhere. But I'm going to tell you where a well-placed joke goes. I was telling so many good sexual jokes. Other white boys whooped that dude's ass.
What?
Yeah, whooped his ass. And then went, finish your show. Good comedy is still good comedy if you would just let us get to it. There are people that disagree with me on my political stances, or they may think the show is too sexual. But once you walk into a nightclub, a comedy club, I'm doing Harris. I want to do all casinos. I want to do all comedy clubs, not just for the money, but for the career. And so when you come into a nightclub experience, my job is to move food and drinks and entertain and not let people get up and walk out. So I will instinctively scan the audience to see what's going on. That's why I have 2 male acts with me, Kyle Irby and Mike Washington. Why? Because I don't want a man to come into my show and go, oh, here she go. It's an hour and a half and niggas ain't. That's not what my show is about. It is a love fest. It is a party. It is a house party. It's me talking like we talk, you know what I'm saying, and having a good time. And let's get up. You can walk across the stage and you might win my money. That's why we mixing and mingling. But I will say this, the people who have been upset with my show, I've tried to polish my performance to a point where you go, wait on me. Something in my set you're going to enjoy.
Right.
Just wait on me. Hold on.
Right.
And do I need to buy you a drink? Because I was lighting white women up. Woo! I was lighting them Becky's up. And I saw you talking to Donnell Rollins about, does he date him? Is that what he doing?
I think so.
You think so?
I think.
Listen.
I don't know. I think that she might be like Latino or Hispanic or something like that. I'm
That's
not
one
really.
of us.
I'm not really.
That's
I'm
one
not
of
really
us. That's
sure.
brown. That's brown.
Okay.
Brown. That's
Okay.
brown on both sides, black
Okay.
and brown. But my thing is, I think we should let our men date whoever they want to date. If that's what you like,
Yeah.
you go.
I like who like me.
That's me. That's how I feel. When I was dating white men, do you think I sought them out? No. White men want to date the darkest of us because they feel like that's the uncut, that's the bomb,
Yeah.
right? I'm not saying that that's what I want to love. I mean, in dating them, it was a feeling that I had, but I wanted to be with who wanted to be with me.
Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with that?
I would say there is something wrong when it only goes to the bedroom. Why do you only like me sexually? If you might like me intellectually and sexually, and I've been in situations where white men, well, I'm taking you to the country club and you're going to go to the country club. I don't want to go to the country club with you. Why? I'll meet you at the 19th hole. I'm going to sit down. You know what I'm talking about. I play golf to enjoy the course.
Right.
I'm not a great golfer. I hit it where it lands. If I really get my game together, I can do pretty good.
Right.
But I don't really play golf to talk to people. I play golf to enjoy the course.
Right.
But if you taking me to the country club just to show how liberal or progressive you are, that was an uncomfortable feeling for me.
Okay.
So if you were a Latin man who was in love with me, I've had a lot of crushes in my life. Latin men, white men, Asian men, all kind of men, black men, but that's what I love. That's what I think understands me, understands when things don't go well. But I've sampled everything God had made on the buffet of love, but I'm not against our men dating outside of the race. What I'm against is when you down us to uplift somebody else.
Okay.
And that's why I was telling those jokes where you get the worst that you can find. But I can't be what I am. I'm too talkative. I'm too ambitious. I'm too strong. I get 5 pounds, you don't fuck with me, but you get with Becky, that's 2 sizes of me, and you said, remember, what's the show where, oh, listen to me. It's always a brother on there. Well, what if these are not your children? I'm a love like that. I'm a love, baby.
I've been in these kids' life.
Oh,
I'm the
my
only
God.
dad they know.
Look just like me. Look, they got my eyes, they got my nose, and this girl is the worst of the worst of the worst. If you gonna get one of them, get Taylor Swift. Don't get the worst one. I'm not against you white girls pulling our men, but some of these girls, I just want to look at a brother and go, I see it.
I see why you got her.
Why. That's right. That's absolutely right. Get her together. Put this on a treadmill. Do something. Get her to eat some vegetables. Or don't get the worst of the worst and then throw it in my face. That's what I don't like. And I don't think most black women like that either.
Let me ask you this. If I had said, okay, Sheryl, give me your GOAT comedians. It could be male, men or women. Give me your 4 comedians that you would consider Mount Rushmore.
Too many to name. And because of my personality, why she didn't name this person, why she didn't name
That's
that
your
person.
list.
Well, I don't really have. First of all, you're going to have a bigger, it's got to be a mountain range. It can't be just 4 motherfuckers on a mountain because there's too many of us that are too good for too many time periods. When you talk about Moms Mabley, one of the greatest female comedians that made people feel good about all those adult jokes
Right.
she was telling, but then you put up against Whoopi Goldberg, who was, to me, her dialogue was so amazing. Her ability to go in and out of characters, so amazing. But I don't want anybody to feel I like somebody more because I can't do what Sherry Shepherd do. That And I'm sorry, girl, because I know there's some comedians don't like to be called bitch, but I got to give your propers. And speaking of that, Melanie Camacho, one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen. Hope Flood, greatest comedians I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's too many out there to name, and we haven't gotten our shot. So that's why I want to produce something that gives people their shot. Who would have thought somebody would have called me to be on daytime TV, and I'm a nightclub performer, and I'll be there from season 2 to season 15 of the talk on CBS, the most conservative network. All we need is the shot. So in answer to your question, there are too many great comics that you see these comics and we've been sitting around with each other. You know how hard it is not to choke laughing at Jamie Foxx when he gets on a roll, and all of us have been friends, but then we talk about him when we show the picture of him with the Jerry curl. That's comedians getting together.
Right.
You know, so I really couldn't name, you know, who would be my top
Let me
four.
ask you this. Are there, you mentioned Hope Flood,
Yes.
yourself, and
Yeah.
some more, and Adele Gibbons, and Chocolate. So many of the young, I remember
Yes.
so many of the women comedians back in the 90s.
Yes.
Are they an upcoming crop of new women comedians?
I think all these young ladies on social media, they got one coming called Don't Call Me a White Girl.
Yeah.
I think this got a line, I ain't gonna say it because I want y'all to hear it out of her mouth, that I was hosting a show in Pennsylvania, and when she dropped that line on the people, I ran out and tackled her because it was such a good line. I'm a technical comic. I will listen to somebody sing, go, damn, I wish I had wrote that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there are some great female comics, but also you need time. You can write jokes every day. You can't polish every day. You need stage time.
Okay.
You need to understand why those of us that were doing adult comedy were doing adult comedy. And don't separate. Don't say, well, this is a clean comedy. Are you a good comic? Right? And then there are comedic actors who are decent stand-ups. That's why I'm not going to name names.
Okay.
They know who they are. You're a decent stand-up, but you're a great comedic actor. So don't put
Are they
us-
two different things?
Yes,
Guy
they
that can act in front
Yes,
of
and be funny.
be funny in
Yes.
front of the camera,
Yes.
as opposed to getting up there and it's just you and an audience and a microphone.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you something. When people say, like, I don't know why Earthquake has not been put in a position to do a
That's my
reboot
dog.
of Sanford and Son. I would be Aunt Esther, and they all you're doing is picking up junk,
Yes.
right? You can do that today. D.L. Hughley, great comic. George Jefferson, today. You can do these things now. Why is it that they get to reboot everything and we don't? You can do That's My Mama. You can do What's Happening Now,
Yeah.
which is nothing but Coolie High.
Right.
You can do this today. We need the opportunity to do it. And there's some great comedic actors, but we need the directors. We need the producers to be able to take what we're already doing in our head. See, a stand-up comic is the writer, producer, director in their head, right? And the performer. We just need to be able to be produced in a way where we're confident in what you're doing. Because I already know what I can do for myself. How do I get confident enough to do it on screen?
You're now tuned in to the realest YouTube channel in the world.
From a long way away, I'll take risks. Swing around that corner, I can't miss. I can't go back, I can't switch. I can't go back, I can't.